that series as a whole, I mean, just wow. A phenomenal series and just craziness. We'll start with game one. I imagine that people have probably forgot how close this game was as well. It was 250, 239, back and forth action the whole way through, Jack. I mean, TK, they're just so clutch. There's conversations now. Are they the most clutch team you've ever seen in COD?
They're getting up there. At the amount of times they've just done it over and over. St. Marie Hardpoint, I think Kenny is one of the best SMG players on this map. It's not like he always puts up ridiculous numbers, but he just knows how to push out these lanes, how to clear time for his team to get in that hardpoint. What I will say, though, is Red Reserve played TK very, very close throughout the series. This was no different. Even when down, Red kept it, within reach. They never gave up, which was a great sign from this team.
And you just saw Joe earn some streaks as well. If Red Reserve had better streak usage, I think they probably could have won this game, if not have just done it outright. It was two separate situations where it was for the back lot hill, not Winery, but the third hill. Joe's calling in streaks when his teammates are nowhere near in position to do any damage. And even if he kills, I think he got 3 with both the fighter pilot and the glide bomb, they spawn right back up. So they're calling in streaks way too soon when their team is not in position to get control. And it's something that Arrow was much worse at. But you see, literally didn't get a single point on that hill. That's the hill normally Red Reserve is dominant on, and they're using streaks to break through. And again, if they would just be a little bit more patient, they could have had so much more success on this map.
But I think this tells a story here, right? If you're going to lose on Winery, like TK did, then you better make up for it on parking. Right. And could you have made up for it more than beating them 110-0?
And that's the point. Traditionally, we said Red Reserve so good on parking. Well, normally they're the team that holds down Winery so well. So you can see just how important that rotation from second to third hill truly is on St. Marie. But I mean, map 1 started off with a bang. Red Reserve almost making a massive comeback. But TK hold out. Then, of course, we go over to game 2, Search and Destroy. Of course, it's Ardennes Forest. We're all sat here going, all right, well, you're playing TK on your best map. There was a lot of worries here for TK.
And immediately, which came up, I was in the player lounge talking with some of the guys, and we were all kind of joking. They're letting Ardennes Forest S&D come through, but at the same time, I think this is a sign of things to come. Red Reserve, they obviously did their homework. If you look at how they won the first couple rounds, they just abused the positions that TK always falls right into on defense. The nade spots on Kenny would shut him down top B. It gave TK no chance to breathe, and Chino touched on it in the interview. TK now need to begin to adapt. They've been doing the same thing. It got them to 12-1 overall in this game mode. Well, with their second loss there, I fear there's more to come if they keep playing like that.
Yeah, and I got to give full credit to the Josh on the game planning. Even when they were playing Echo Fox on this map, he was calling out specific strategies that they were going to do. So when you go to a team like TK, you have the most gameplay on them. I'm guarantee you it was Josh that was saying, here's their setups, here's what they do, here's how we're going to break it. And they did it by targeting accuracy. It was 2 different situations where it was the first round TK was on defense, triple naded them, but they didn't triple nade off the rip. They waited about 15-20 seconds into the round. Then accuracy pushes up on that truck heady, then he gets naded out. There's a second round, well, they say, hey, he's not going to go back because we naded him once, so this is going to be the time where he plays on the rock. But that takes a little bit longer to get to. It was that round that Josh pushed all the way up to the tank, lays down, waits for accuracy to come out of cabin, and then it's an easy kill for Josh. Right. So they had those 2 rounds, and then plus, normally we see TK wins games because someone just goes massive and has a clutch. Chino almost got the 1v3. Turns out Joe is the F.
Traditionally, this hasn't been one of TK's better game mode and map combinations. And I think, to be fair, Jack, a little bit of that showed here.
Yeah, and this one, Red Reserve go up 2-0, and you see them get the streaks. And for me, at least, I was like, okay, this one's absolutely over. But this play was so down to the wire to force us extra time. Look, literally, if he's one step further, the return comes in and the half ends. It kind of creates these insane moments down to the last second. You even see here on the other side of the map the contest for it. They finally wind up getting it on through. But again, that right there, if that doesn't come through for TK, I think that's a way more easy stop of the map for Red Reserve.
Yeah, and that's like a minute-long stretch where both teams are playing to absolute perfection as well. So TK has to go massive just to get it out, just to force the overtime. Again, just inches away from anything. Of course, when the game ends, Red Reserve just through and through played absolutely better the entire time.
Yeah, fantastic performance from them, and Josh led the way. 23 kills, dropped to 1.44, and of course had a flag cap as well. So at this point now, Red Reserve put themselves at match point point, 2-1 up. We head over to a hard point, Gibraltar. Of course, we'd seen TK lose against Optic Gaming on Gibraltar as well. We're thinking, oh my God, this could be it for TK. They could get another loss here, and boy, oh boy, did it get close, Jack.
It really doesn't get much closer. I'm sure we're going to see the clip in here, but I will come out and say that last play from Chino is the best play so far of Call of Duty World War II.
Fact.
I was trying to think of other plays. The R-Cities 1v4 was crazy, but when you look at everything that came into account on that final play from Chino, he's rotating on probably the hardest hill to rotate on with 0 streaks. The last one there on the push for his team, fighting close-range gunfights with the FG-42. In a matter of a half a second, perfectly drops the artillery on bridge, is still registering the callouts from his team, and lives through it all on like the 9 streak. I cannot believe what I witnessed.
And let's talk about what he's doing getting the streaks as well. He juggled the hill twice, I'm pretty sure, to make that happen. The first time is when he's flying in to kill 0, winning like the 3rd gunfight that he should not have won because he's one-shot the entire time. But he earns the fire pilot in Glide Bomb, but he gets out of hill and then he jumps back in, gets the next set of streaks to get the artillery. Because if you call him the Glide Bomb or the fighter pilot, then you can't use your gun. And obviously the fighter pilot is a huge, massive streak, but gets the artillery, calls it in like half a second, locks down the bridge, picks up 2 kills with that, but then he's also getting a kill with his gun on the player pushing inside the hill as well. And with how close the game is, he couldn't afford to not have his gun out at any given time. So just to have that state of mind, like a split second to say, I can't use the first 2 streaks,
Right.
I have to use the 3rd, I have to juggle the hill twice to make that happen while having the state of mind to get the kills, easily best player of World War II. It's insane.
Well, we're talking about it a lot. Let's take a look. CWL Play of the Game presented by Scuff. Of course, it's Chino going massive. This is probably going to be #1 on your top 5 plays as well coming out of this division. That is for sure. I mean, just it's insane.
Take note of his stats, too. This wasn't just the last play he did. He finishes this game, I believe it's like 39-18 or something close to that. The fact he stays alive here, gets a call from his teammates, gets the gun up in this moment,
Straight away
look at
knows.
this,
Bang.
instantly drops the artillery, then prepares for whatever next is going to come. The kill feed is all Chino again. My goodness.
I want to point out,
and he had that last one. He would have killed that last guy too with the bayonet.
I want to point out in 20 seconds, that's all it took. Chino got 50% of Theory's kills.
Oh my God.
That's how crazy that was. Not throwing Theory under the bus by any means, but Chino just went in. I mean, he went in. Me, Chad, Jack, we're sat here basically saying, well, there's no way you lose a game 5. You don't clutch up like that and then lose a game 5. That's just not how game 5s work. You have momentum. The crazy part was, after that, they're all just sat there laughing and giggling, having a good time, Chance. It's crazy.
I've said this before on the desk. The craziest moment of the year for me so far is when Accuracy got that 1v3 against Luminosity, shooting 3 people in the back. In like the grand finals, it cuts to the player cams and all 4 players are just sit there like stone-faced, like, yep, yeah, that's what happens. Like, no one's freaking out. No one's like dapping them up. They're just like, we have another round to win. And like, the level of focus and the ice in the veins, it is insane from TK. And it's the same thing. Like, they just had a masterful performance. And this is an important game as well, because they're already, what, 1-1 or 2-1? Like, if they had lost that, potentially the top 4 range might be a little bit tougher. They clutch up like that and they're just chilling. Like, it's a day in the ballpark. It's crazy.
They're having so much fun, that's for sure. We'll take a look at the game 5, and we were right. TK, after that game 4, you just simply don't lose game 5. It started off very, very well for them. And Jack, you kind of brought up the interesting point. Everyone is catching them up, right? They are being caught up, but still, they are clutch. They have this clutch factor about this team, and that's what makes them so scary.
My biggest takeaway from week 1 of the CWL Pro League is the competition has caught up to TK. They've now begun to learn. They've now begun to adapt. The advantage they had early game to help them win those first 2 major events has slowly gone away. They are still absolutely, in my opinion, the best team in Call of Duty World War II, but it is by far a closer race than it has been since this game came out. The difference between the teams, though, is TK's composure and their clutch factor. It is unmatched right now. And again, as this year continues to develop, as TK continue to go on, if they still win these major events, if they still contend for championships, they might be regarded as one of the clutchest teams in Call of Duty history, even just in this short amount of time.
Yeah, I would be remiss, though, if I don't point it out. That 1v3 Zero had, it's got to be one of the sexiest things that we've seen, at least in Search and Destroy. I think maybe the kill he had on Kenny, maybe that's a mistake from Kenny taking the gunfight, but after that, it's not even the fault of TK. It was just Zero was making absolutely the best plays possible. So, again, full credit to him. You at least have to mention it.
The read on Chino, who was a statue, was absolutely phenomenal from Zero. Then, of course, he and wins the 1v1 as well. A fantastic play, but ultimately it's TK all day. 3-2 victory.